you can definitely tell like it's getting a bit more challenging now because I don't really back favourites.
No.
I sort of look for value in the each way market.
Yeah.
Like your average novice chase is like what four runners now.
Yeah,
like there's no value there anymore.
There's nothing.
Like if you're obviously tanking favourites, having like 4 or 5 bets a day, it's right up your street.
Yeah, of course.
And there's I think there's a big issue with like just discipline in general with punters. Like there's so many people tipping horses all day, like free tipsters, and I do think it's a big problem, and just there's no sort of accountability there.
Yeah.
So like it's just like wallpaper. Like if somebody's tipping like 10 favourites a day, it's you maybe have like 2 winners, but you're down like 18 points or 20 points or something like that. But like I actually think there's a lot of damage actually being caused there as well, like from a safer gambling perspective. Like there's zero accountability for that sort of stuff.
No,
We'll get into that I suppose we'll get into that when we have a little bit of a...
Yeah, because we used to do it, didn't we?
Yeah, we had the service, and it was just
But we were very much like you. We were very conscious of it, weren't we?
We were, yeah.
If we'd have been cowboys and crock of shit, it's wrong, really, really wrong.
We did it. Yeah, we did a short video. Yeah,
but we ended up all right. So we gave good price winners like yourself. You know, you do it with.
We provided value. Yeah.
Oh yeah, massively. Yeah. We
let me get us started because we obviously have that.
I'll talk about that as well, and just something out of interest. Like, I found that like, see if you're on a good run, and say you go on a bad run, like variance, people turn on you as well.
Yeah.
Did you get that as well? Like just mugs. You could
yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, we
do.
Just talk about that as well.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah, go on then.
All right, no worries.
And then
Decent. Okay. Right, welcome back everybody to another episode. We've got something different today. We've got a guest.
We've
got a guest. Mark, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, it's good to be here, Harry and Chris. Yeah.
Yeah. Appreciate you coming down. So look, we're going to get into all things racing, and we're going to talk a little bit about the punting side of it as well. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. But let's get started. Mark, tell us a little bit about your background. What can you say? Yeah. What can you not say?
On the record, off the record, yeah.
Well,
so I'd probably say since I was probably about 14, 15, I was sort of, my uncle was an off-course bookmaker, and on-course as well, and I'd always sort of been around him. He used to take me to the football, for example, and just driving to the football, he'd be like, what price is this? The odds on this? And obviously my parents weren't really happy with it because they were trying to keep me away from it, but as soon as I was 16, 17, I was backing winners. I'd probably say from 18 to 25, I was working with a professional gambler. Like he was sort of like my mentor, and I learned a lot from it. And then obviously working in the betting industry, most notably for Betfair, and I'm running a racing service now, and did a little bit of work for the Racing Post as well.
Decent.
Cool.
I like it. Go on.
And what sort of work have you done with the Racing Post and those sort of parts?
It's sort of like I do some of the video content for them. Obviously, when I was at Betfair, I've done some tipping stuff for them, some analyst work as well. So I sort of analyse the races, do some of the comments race. So, but it was good. It's good to be around sort of like an industry professional, if you get what I mean, because it's quite a toxic environment. Just the betting industry as a whole, like social media. There's not many people that you would just pick up the phone and call for advice because most people are like, I don't know how to say this, but you couldn't really have like a proper conversation with them, and like they just don't really get it, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, they've got to tick boxes and they've got to follow it. It's almost like they've got to follow a script and everything. You can't really, I get what you mean. You can't have that conversation. Yeah, of course.
And obviously you need to be careful as well, but who you say things to as well.
Yeah.
You got to keep a small circle as well.
Yeah, of course you do. So at the moment, you obviously run, so you run a little, is it like a tipping service?
Yeah, I run a racing service at the moment, yeah.
Okay. What's that racing service called?
It's just Horse Racing Mark.
Okay.
That's what it's called, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, guys, check it out. We'll leave it in the description. Go and check it out. As I said, we're quite relaxed here. So, go and have a look at that. Jumps or flat, Mark? What's your preference? Let's get to know you.
I'd say from a value perspective,
yes.
I'd probably say the flat's more profitable because you can get more of an edge because obviously over the last 3 years when I've been running the service, I've got a big edge in sort of unraced 2-year-olds, unraced 3-year-olds, because you get information. And so you could be backing something that's 25-1, which should be 2-1. You back it each way. There's no guarantee they'll win, because first time out, anything can happen. They're green, slowly away. But they were very profitable. But this season, it's been, obviously, it's a bit underwhelming, to say the least. Just ground factors, small fields, contacts not coming through. Just sometimes things just didn't work out. Like there was times where I would have horses and they're non-runners, or the B7 runners, or
7 runners, man, or
it's
15
terrible, isn't
runners in the handicaps.
It's criminal, isn't it? 7 runners. You think, the values,
man.
that's it, it's gone.
Killers.
I
remember I had this horse at Southwell, and it was 40s. I'd sent it out within 2-3 minutes on the exchange, just like 16s. Got loose in the paddock beforehand.
It's just nice. Like, nothing you can do about it.
And then it ran like 3 months after it totally regressed. It was no good, but that was the time. It was ready to go.
Yeah.
I don't know if somebody let it loose in the paddock because the price had gone. But I've had some nice winners on the over the jumps as well. But the jumps, it's just small field sizes, poor ground. I just think the quality of racing right now is really poor.
Yeah,
it's hard to find value. And one thing I would say is that with the service, I'm very much sort of like a safer gambling perspective. Like no degenerate stuff. Like if we have a nice winner, there's always a no bet day after, because it's easy for people to get FOMO. And obviously from my time working in the industry, I can see somebody has a nice winner, how they behave. Like 99% of them, you just do the brains in. Like,
will they lose the winnings?
Oh, they just do the brains
next day.
They think they're invincible. Like maybe not even next day, within an hour.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Casino, whatever, dogs, whatever. It's just trying to keep a lid on it. But the problem is, a lot of people, they don't like it. Like if I say to them, like I genuinely, I would probably say more clients would leave my service because I'm not giving them a bet for a week than I'm giving them the loser, which is pretty bizarre. But that's just a mindset. Some people just want to gamble. That's it.
Yeah, I think that is what it's about, isn't it? Yeah, to some people, they just.
We were similar when we used to do it.
Yeah,
we didn't do it every day. We might have done 4 out of 7 days.
Probably,
5 out of 7 days. But there will be some days, like you said,
time out.
There's no point forcing it.
There's
and
no
stuff.
value.
Like, what's the absolute no point whatsoever?
That's the thing. Like I actually feel responsible for clients' money.
Yeah.
And like if I lose, they're losing as well.
Yeah.
And like sometimes there is no value. Some things go against you. Exactly what you said. There's just sometimes there's just no bets, but a lot of people just can't accept that.
Yeah, of course. We were Mark. We obviously spoke off camera about something quite interesting, and obviously there'll be things that you can say and things that you can't say, no matter how X-rated our podcast is.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
But I've just got to say, you spent some time with Betfair. You must have seen some stuff. You know, winners, losers.
So I'd probably say, as a whole, the industry's changed a lot. So obviously, I joined 2019, pre-COVID. And one thing I would say is that the caliber and quality of staff was so good back then. Like you're talking like ex-Google, like Meta, like top 4, KPMG, those types of people, like top tier. And it was sort of like proper gambling people. Like you could actually have a conversation with them, like regardless if someone's an engineer or they're marketing, like they knew the game. You could talk to them about what do you fancy Cheltenham, Aintree, whatever. And it just slowly regressed after COVID, just wanted to rebrand. And I think it was in line with the safer gambling stuff that was coming in place, that they wanted to move away from sort of like traditional gambling employees. And it tailed off badly. Like it was bad. Like you couldn't really have a conversation with anyone. And the offices were empty as well with the working from home. Yeah. But on the sort of the betting stuff, there wasn't really a lot of bets on the sportsbook side of stuff, because let's be honest, they don't really want bets, especially in horse racing, greyhounds, that sort of stuff. Just like they might allow maybe some industry people, for example, to bet so they can get the card, basically, which is natural because they want that from a pricing perspective. But to be honest with you, from that pricing perspective, there's not really much skill involved. Like all they're doing is watching Betfair and watching bet monitors all day. But they'll quickly be gone. Anyway, with AI coming into place, they'll get replaced very, very quickly. So they don't have a lot of time left. But from a betting perspective, the majority of the big bets were coming through the exchange. Some big horse racing bets like 50, 100K. But most of that stuff was coming through the B2Bs.
Okay.
Because the big players can't deposit anymore because of the deposit limits.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
So they were obviously betting out with the UK and putting money into the markets, but you couldn't lay through the B2Bs on British racing because of things that happened in the past, which is fair, because a lot of people were trying to circumvent the regulator, the KYC process, to use sort of, say, a commission agent in India to lay one at Southwell for $100,000.
Wow.
Like that did happen. That did happen. And there's other things as well that were going on. I didn't really feel comfortable with it. There's obviously not a lot I can say with GDPR and stuff, but like there's other sports, like tennis was a big one, cricket, seen some huge bets, IPL.
Oh yeah, cricket's well known for it.
Yeah, we were
So
talking about one,
known
weren't
for
we? Yeah, that was.
So probably from my time working in the industry, started at a small bookmaker, and a big bet would be 2K at 6 to 4 on a horse, and that would sort of be panic stations for the 4 lads in the office, because that make or breaks the day or potentially the next couple of days. And it's move up to sort of like a medium size bookmaker, 50K, 100K, and then obviously you move to the white label, the exchange, and like 100K, 250K every single day. But ironically, the smaller, say the medium sized bookmaker would take bigger bets on sports than Paddy Power, Betfair, and Sky Bet on the sports book. They don't want it. But on the exchange, IPL, like I remember, I'm trying to, so 2023, probably, and obviously I've got the bet monitor with all the exchange business coming through, and you've got like name, date, description, bet size. It was about 4 o'clock, and the racing's on just up here, and this bet came through, and it was just like question marks right across the line, and I was like, what's going on here, right? And I opened up a tab. It was a huge bet. It was an IPL. I think it was it Sunrise or Hyderabad something. It was a boy that came on 10. He had 10 million on. 10 million. 10 million on. He came on and he came on about 2.1, and obviously he knocked the average price into like 1.8.
Yeah, that must have rocked it down. Yeah.
But the cricket markets are so big because all the money's coming in from commission agents and B2Bs. I think it was about 90 or 100 million in that market. It's huge. And then he had backed. What did he back? It was 40 balls to go, and he backed the bowling team to bowl out. The first bowl was a knot. Next bowl was a 6. And I'm like, geez, this guy must be sweating. Like, he's got 10 million, right? And went right up to 2.5, and he came on again. And he had another 10, 12. I think he had 13 million on the first time. Then he had 10 million on the 2.5 this after.
Oh, after it drifted, sort of
After
thing.
it drifted, he came back again.
Wow.
He had 23 on altogether.
That's just, yeah.
That's just uncontrollable, isn't it?
There was a bit of confidence there.
There must have been.
A bit of confidence. And they went on to win by like 5 in the end.
I don't care how much money you've got. If you slam a 23 million.
Is he doing that because he's got someone out there that's throwing matches and doing
You've got to suggest match fixing, haven't you? At that
I
stage?
don't think so. I just think he was having a punt. Like, I'd never seen this guy before. And obviously, looking at his balance, it was 85, 90 mil.
Yeah,
he's a big player. It's like it's the equivalent of us, say, having £1,000 on, maybe having £600 on something because we really fancy something. But it's just because the numbers are so extreme.
Yeah, of course. Well, there's obviously players out there that are bigger than what we could even imagine. So yeah,
Different
behind
worlds.
the scenes, completely different worlds.
Yeah,
it's just people backing with that kind of money is like is that have got that money to back something. It's like us going and sticking 20 quid on, surely.
Yeah, but it's like you say, but it's also money to lose, isn't it? Because they don't care. If they've
no,
got that sort,
it's
well,
that
not they
thrill,
don't
isn't
care,
it? It's
but
the
if they've
gamble.
got that money, then they've got money to lose also, haven't they?
Like, I'm not going to lie, like, it was absolutely insane. So,
Oh yeah.
Like, it was like $2,000, $5,000, 10 grand bets, grand
Yes.
here, bang, just loads of question marks.
Yeah.
Mark, the industry lately has been hit, and I've got to admit, like, I'd love a brief explanation from yourself, because there were people out there that don't really get it. Affordability checks, in the racing world. What can you, a brief explanation from start to finish? What are these checks, and can you make sense of them to people watching? What are they? And
I think it's gone too far.
Okay.
I think it's gone too far.
Yeah.
I think that some bookmakers are weaponizing it to shut down winning customers.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
let's be honest. There is people out there with gambling problems, and obviously you need to tailor for them as well. But I do think it's went too far, and it's just been used as another excuse to shut down winning accounts. And like, I've experienced it personally as well, where they've asked me for bank statements share saves, pension funds, crypto balances and stuff, and it's just getting a bit crazy and
too much.
Yeah, it's too much. And what I find bizarre as well is that some exchanges are now doing it as well, which is crazy for me because they're a liquidity based model and they need liquidity in the market. I had obviously I don't want to say the exchange because I managed to get sorted eventually, but there was one exchange where I was trading maybe about 100, 125k a month, and that was my turnover, and I was maybe making 1 to 3%.
Right.
And I was just gradually just churning away backly, just trading numerous sports. And I had one losing month. And I messed up the trade. I had problems with my internet and I messed it up. I was on the wrong end of it. Straight away, account closed, account suspended, affordability checks, asking me for all this stuff. Back and forward, here's my balance. Eventually had a call with a girl on the phone. And I'm trying to explain to her, like, I'm pumping over 100k a month into your markets, sort of smaller markets. You're a liquidity based business, you need my liquidity. And like, she didn't even know what the difference was between back and laying.
No,
and she shut me down,
These people aren't qualified.
No.
And I'm not the only one. Like, going back to my racing service, like I have punters who are betting £5-10 on horses. They're getting shut down. This is
that's absolutely ridiculous.
No, it's a joke.
Like, obviously some people online on Twitter and stuff like that, they lie and they exaggerate just for clicks and attention, but I've probably lost about 50 to 75 clients over 3 years that have been shut down, and we're talking about £5-10 bets with Bet365 gone.
No, it's crazy. It's
stupid.
It's
a joke.
It's just I can't get my head around it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense because I understand what they're doing, like trying to protect the people who have gambling problems, but it's always been there. I just think it's gone too far now, and it is being weaponized. And like, if you're a UK or Irish bookmaker right now, like, you're in trouble. Especially the Irish as well. They're in a lot of trouble because you've got the advertisement ban there as well. Like, all you're doing is just pushing people to the black market.
Yeah, and that is the problem.
That's the problem. And like, you're basically bringing out like deposit limits, self-exclusion and stuff. They're good, right, for people who genuinely have gambling problems, because there is people out there who do have gambling addiction problems, but it's been some of it has been weaponized to shut recreational punters down now. And the problem is now you could push these people to the black market, whereas they might not get paid. They might actually have a genuine gambling problem and they could absolutely do their brains in.
Yeah.
Whereas if they stay in that safe environment with a white label, for example, they're going to be okay.
Yeah, of course.
But you're just turning too many people off, and I actually think it's having a detrimental effect on punters as a whole, because punters are sick of it now.
Is it a little bit of sort of greed side of it as well, in terms of profits, that they go, someone that's not a gambling addict and someone that's just a regular punter that might win big now and again, that they go, do you know what, if they make it so hard, they'll just give up, almost like to say, how long can they keep going, asking for this, for that, for this, for that, until someone goes, do you know what, this isn't worth it. But then, like you say, unfortunately, that then turns them the other way and go the black market. And it's just,
because it's so restrictive.
It just seems that it's
a real shame. It's a real shame for those that are the odd punt, like some of your like sort of followers, as they were, Mark. It's just, they just want a little punt every now and then, like a little bit of enjoyment.
Yeah,
they don't have that anymore.
Yeah,
they can't have it.
Like Denise quotes, how many billions is she worth? She's saying no to £5 each way at Southwell at 20-1.
Yeah,
doesn't want it. Like, it's absolutely crazy, isn't it?
It's just ridiculous.
The profit she's taken in the last years, it's like,
most of it's like from unregulated markets as well.
Yeah. Massively,
it's coming from China, a lot of the money.
Oh, really?
Yeah, huge proportions of it. I just think the industry as a whole, I think racing really needs to sort of get a grip of itself.
Yeah.
Before it's too late, because it might end up like the dogs unless change happens. Like, you can't just keep restricting punters all the time. There needs to be sort of a line in the sand. And I mean, I know there obviously got the change in the government. You've got the white paper and stuff, and the new Gambling Act is supposed to be coming out. But I think I don't feel too optimistic about it, if I'm being brutally honest with you. I think it's gone too far now. You switch too many punters off.
I think you have, haven't you? There was,
and we were saying about this, weren't we? Like, you're trying to get new people into the sport as well, and surely that's got to be off-putting, right?
Yeah.
You know, someone sort of younger comes into the sport. You see all like the social media, got the ITV stuff, and you think, oh yeah, it looks fun, good day. But then you start doing it online. But then suddenly, if you get so many restrictions, they're going to go, oh fuck this.
Yeah, like, I said earlier about sort of people who are just punting out bets on like Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. I do sort of hold them responsible as well for some of these people that do have gambling addiction problems, because there's no accountability there.
No.
It's just wallpaper. It's like 10, 15 bets a day constant. There's no accountability there whatsoever.
Yeah.
I actually think they're a big reason why people do have
Well,
problems.
one of our episodes, sorry to cut you off, one of our episodes that we made, which you see on TikTok, was about, and we were speaking about this off camera just about 10, 15 minutes ago. We were talking about there's people out there that, well, they don't give a shit. They'll punt it out, they punt it out, they punt it out. They punt out all these, there's no value, all these odds on shots, so doubles, trebles, back this, back that. And then no concern for the people that are putting their money down.
Like you say, no accountability for nothing.
That's what. Yeah, of course.
Just
terrible
cowboys. And there's this guy on Twitter, or X, as it's called now. He's called the Tipster Exposer. I don't know if you've seen him. I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh, he exposes shit tipsters.
Yeah, he's been calling out a lot of people recently, which has been quite fun to follow.
What's your views on the Tipster Exposer?
I don't know a lot about it, so I've just seen flashed up now and again.
But what he does is good.
He just seems to call out certain people if they're, like you say, constantly tipping up even money favourites or 1 to 2 favourites, and I can't be having that. It's not, I can't be.
I think what he's doing is obviously just calling some people out.
Yeah.
But I do think some of the abuse that some of these guys get is a bit over the top.
I'm
being really honest with you, because I've experienced it as well, and I run a legitimate service, and you've probably experienced it as well.
Yeah.
From trying to help people, because people they turn very, very quickly. But anyway, he is sort of in a sense exposing people.
I like that. I do. I've got to say, I like that, because we were always, when we used to do it, we used to talk about the fact, because you're probably the same, Mark. You put so much effort and time into, because as a lover of the sport, I will happily put hours and hours into researching, and you see it as you consider it a real personal triumph if you find the winner of a horse race. That's it. And you could be there. I could be there looking at one race for, close to an hour, because you're doing all the bits that you want to do to try and find the winner, because that's what you enjoy doing. And you want to find the value in that race. I don't consider people that have a look at their screen for 5-10 minutes and go, well, the favourite win that, and chuck it out as a tip. I don't.
Yeah, it's very even like looking at the algorithm on X, for example, it's a very good way of growing a page, because you get a lot of engagement, and a lot of people just want free tips, and they just want that dopamine hit. They just want that rush of backing a winner, And that's another thing. Like I create an analogy for some people as well. Like, say, like if I'm on a losing run, for example. Like, when I mean a losing run, we're talking like 5-7 points. I say, would you rather have, if I gave you 10 bets, would you rather have 120 to 1 winner and 9 losers, or would you rather have 5 odds-on winners and 5 losers? Right?
Yeah.
The majority of people want 5 odds-on losers because they just want to back a winner.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the psychology.
That's the mentality.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And how does it look at the moment, Mark? You're the service that you offer at the moment. So how close are you to the actual, the racing scene? So do you look at the races every day and see what's racing, or are you sort of every now and then chucking out some value for the people that follow you, or how close are you to the actual racing scene?
I'm very selective in what I do.
You are? Okay.
So I'll probably know maybe 3-4 days beforehand what's running.
Okay.
Obviously, because I've worked in the industry, I've been able to grow a network of connections, people who work within the industry. And it changes now and again. Like if a stable's out of form, I can't really use them. But I'll know. And then obviously when the decks come out, then I'll decide, right, are we going to play here? Like my perfect scenario is if, like, say, we got a 20 to 1 shot, which has just been out for a run for like 2-3 times. And the favourite is maybe, how can I say this diplomatically here? It's maybe just having an off day, or maybe needs the run, as they say. Like, that's the perfect scenario for me. 10 runners, perfect, because you might get a couple of non-runners, especially in the jumps off the ground. And I'm on at 20s. It's probably a 5 to 2 chance. That's the dream for me. But you don't get them all the time.
No.
That's the thing, you don't get them all the time. And what probably kills a lot of my bets and creates more no-bet days is the small fields, the heavy ground. It turns me off. Like, I don't want to risk clients' money. Like, sometimes you just have to wait, but punters don't want to wait.
No.
That's the problem.
No.
Impatient. That's very true.
Yeah. We had one at Cartmel about 2 months ago, and this had been lined up for about 6 months. I think it was called Treasure Company.
Wow. Okay.
and obviously he's 20s and one on the snaff, cruised up, one easy. And sometimes you just have to wait, and you need to obviously keep it very in-house because people talk, and all it takes is the one person from the wrong account to have 20 quid the night before, and you ruined it for everyone.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, it would spread like wildfire, wouldn't it? Yeah, the words.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. So if as a fan of the sport, we are in jump season now. The Christmas meeting is coming up, and then we've got Cheltenham. It's Cheltenham's still a while away, the actual festival. Have you got any horses you're keeping an eye on at the moment?
Obviously, there's a lot of news about Constitution Hill, and obviously the decks came out today for the Fighting Fifth.
Yes.
And I was quite fortunate that I do have a contact close to the Henderson camp, and I knew Constitution Hill wasn't going to run the Champion Hurdle last year, so I was able to create a book around Stateman. And we cleaned up 4-1, 5-1. He's went off 2.
Nice.
We love it.
That again, that's the sort of book that I'm looking for, but they don't come around all the time.
No.
I think Constitution Hill, he's obviously going to be the sort of the focal point in that market. He's obviously going to go a favourite, and obviously he's recovering from colic, and a lot of horses do not regain full ability.
Yeah.
From that, if you're going to take him on, you want to be taking him on first time out.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
I think there's value taking him on.
You do. Okay.
Because I think he's going to be too short. Obviously, he's going to be notably too short because punters emotionally are going to dive in, shorten him up, and bookmakers will want to get him beat as well.
Yeah, of course.
And I think it's interesting. Sir Gino was in there as well, wasn't he?
Sir Gino, yeah. Well, Sir Gino goes to chasing now. I thought I saw in the news.
Was he not in the Fighting Fifth?
No. They said in time. He said in time.
Right. Okay.
But
Yes.
I think he's going to stick to Hurdles for now.
Right. Okay.
I think Nicky Henderson said he's a big old boy, and he will probably send him chasing eventually. But I think he's going to stick to Hurdles for now.
And he looks like a good thing.
Well, he was a good horse in that last Cheltenham as well. He was no good. He wasn't going to run.
No.
So obviously back Majborough, the Mullins.
Yeah. But then he went and hosed up at Aintree, didn't he? When he beat Cargisi. Yeah.
Yes. That's right. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting.
He's actually, funny enough, one of my main. He was one of my main horses to follow this year.
Which one?
Sir Gino.
Sir Gino.
Yeah, I think he could be. I think he could be a good thing.
Depending on Henderson's form, so we'll see. Just we're not sure, are we? We'll wait and see.
No. He sounds like you know a little bit more closer to home than that. But it's just I don't know. It's been so on and off the last year as to, hasn't he?
He's a good horse, but he's quite fragile.
Okay.
That'd be the thing that I would worry about.
Yeah. It seems with a lot of them are.
We had the thing of the weekend, didn't you? Repanade.
Yeah.
Oh, Jericho de Repanade. Yeah, we were talking in the car about that. I did see a comment, someone saying just an ordinary handicapper. I don't believe that, but it looked very wobbly over the fences.
Yeah.
Very wobbly. And I think just we seemed to work out that probably just got a little bit winded just before Nico pulled him up. Went through the fence and just winded himself.
I think that if he wasn't such a short price favourite and he didn't drift from 2 to 9 to 8 to 11, I don't think there would have been as much hype. I think if he'd went off maybe even money 6 to 4 tissue, I think the price factor is putting more attention on it.
Yeah.
I think Nicky did say after that he lost his confidence.
Okay,
they do come quite quick, those fences at Sandown.
Yeah, of course they do. Yeah.
Down the back, he actually pinged.
Seemed to
3
warm
or
up.
4 of them. And it was only really the last one before the turn.
Yeah.
He just ran through it.
Yeah, of course.
He's a really he has a lot of potential, that horse. So you wouldn't want to ruin him. You don't want to ruin him. I think what he probably needs is just sort of a small novice chase field just to get his form.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Back. But I think going back to the Sir Gino comment, I think him and Majborough, they two are horses you want to keep on side.
I think Sir Gino, if he can, you say he could be quite fragile, but if he can stay fit this year and stay in good form, I think he's
could be something
one of the big players this year. I do.
Majborough though, that's the one.
Yeah,
he
looked impressive at Cheltenham last year.
I'm going to put it out there. He's a future Gold Cup winner.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
he's only going to get better the further.
We like these exclusives, don't we?
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, but I can see it as well.
I genuinely think when he turned in the triumph there against Cargisi, he was 101 turning in. He got over the last, he was 101 up the hill.
I like it. Look at that. Well, look, I'm going to have to stop us because we're running out of time. This has been great. Really, really good. But somehow we've managed to fill half an hour already. And this happens every time. Mark, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. There is so much for listeners and watchers to get their teeth into there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, we wouldn't be against getting you on again in the future.
No, there could have been a lot more.
I could talk for hours. I really could, and some of that stuff was really interesting. So thank you so much, guys. Leave us a comment, and please, we'll leave it in the description. Go and check out Marc's racing service as well. I think we're all good, aren't we? Lovely.
Good
Thank
stuff.
you, Marc.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.